How's it going, everyone? I am back with another video. This is going to be my review of the Patriots game this past week against the Steelers, one of the most agonizing and infuriating games I've watched in my entire life. So, in this one, I'm going to go through the game, break down my thoughts, interpretations, takeaways I got from it, all that good stuff. And yeah, just dive straight in here. So obviously, right off the bat, as I mentioned, this was one of the most infuriating games I have watched in my entire life. We handed the Steelers the game. No disrespect to them, but we outplayed them. Should have beat them by multiple scores, and we handed them the game with turnovers. Now you can credit the Steelers defense for forcing the turnovers, but five turnovers. The Steelers had won. It was Rodgers threw a pick to Spillane at the start of the third quarter, the second half, and it looked like we were about to tie it, and we fumbled again. So just let's see if I can remember the turnovers off the top of my head. So the first one was literally on our opening drive, so a tone setter for the game. Stevenson had just popped a big run, crossed the 40, and fumbled it. So that was awesome. Looked like, a good drive, decent chance to score for us there. The second turnover, we were backed up at the goal line. We went for it on a 4th and 1 in our own territory, like around the 10-yard line. We converted it on a pitch and drive it all the way down the field, and we end up turning it over on 3rd and goal on an interception. Which really quick, at first I was absolutely infuriated. We did not at least attempt a single run from the 2-yard line in 3 plays with all 3 timeouts. But then after watching the film, I'm not as upset after because the Steelers loaded the box pretty much all 3 plays. I still think we should have at least ran it once, but I'm not as upset because Steelers just loaded the box and May was in rhythm. The pass game was in rhythm. Hit him with a play action the first time. It worked for a touchdown to Hunter Henry on our prior offensive drive. They think we're going to run, hit him with the play action, so I don't mind that. Second down, it was man. Favorable matchup with Henry one-on-one, just didn't work out. And then the 3rd and goal, May thought Booty was wide open, and then Nichols undercut the pass and intercepted it. But yeah, so that was turnover 2. Then let's see, turnover 3 right after the Rodgers pick. Stevenson fumbled in the end zone, so that was awesome. So at this point, we should have basically a 21-14 lead, but we don't, or at least a let's say we said that pass is incomplete, we kick a field goal or whatever. We probably would have went for it 4th and goal at the end of the first half. But let's say we kick a field goal, at minimum, it should have been 14th and a half. Then we get 7, so it should have been my math's all messed up. So get the field. So yeah, it should have been 17-14 at minimum, basically, after if Stevenson didn't fumble. So that was turnover 3. Turnover 4. Yet again, we're driving and Gibson fumbled right across midfield around the 40, I want to say, the Steelers. Then the 5th turnover, it was tied 14-all. We were driving, and then this one was on May. A lot of people not too happy with May this game. To me, Drake May played phenomenal this game outside of the fumble, and the interception was bad too. But I just don't think he saw Brandon Eccles there. But May was just holding the ball too long, trying to make too much happen. He got hit from behind and fumbled it. So literally 4 of our 5 turnovers were in Steeler territory. 2 of them were literally in the end zone. And then the other one, we were in, was our opening drive, as I mentioned. It looked like we were in a decent position to at least put up a field goal. But we didn't. So we should have at least won by at least 2 scores. Should have had probably at least a field goal on that Gibson fumble drive and at least a field goal on that May fumble there. And then again, we should have at least had a field goal at the end of the half, and then we absolutely should have had a touchdown Stevenson. So again, credit the Steelers for making the plays, but we beat ourselves this game. So let's see. Yeah, so I was dejected at the half because of that drive. We were about to tie it, have all the momentum, then we turn it over. Then Spillane gets the pick, and I'm like, yep, here we go. And our defense kept forcing the Steelers to give us the ball back, kept giving us a chance. 4th and 2, Hunter Henry gets a touchdown, tie game, get the ball driving, and that was when May fumbled. I thought we were going to take the lead there. Fast forward, the Steelers get a touchdown. They're up 21-14. Where it May in another nice drive. Our offense was great this game outside of like the first two drives. May was, and obviously the turnovers, but yeah, so May was driving, 2 minute drill to tie the game. He got sacked 3rd and 12. He hit Hunter Henry for 11 yards. And then obviously the Pop Douglas play. I just uploaded like a 10-minute film breakdown of that on my Snapchat story. But yeah, Pop Douglas caught it, could have fell forward for the yard. He went backward to try to elude the defender, and he lost a yard on the play when he lost. So that play right there, great symbol of or a great symbolization rather of the game where we had it, and then just something on our own part cost us it. This was a really frustrating game because if we had won this one, we would have been 2-1, and then we play the Panthers this week. I'm pretty confident we'll win that. So 3-1 if we had won this game, and then it would have been a huge game in Buffalo. Even the Bills win this week, which they should. They play the Saints. It's 3-1 versus 4-0 for the division lead. And then after that, we have a couple games we should win. We have the Browns, the Titans, and the Falcons. So that should be 3 wins for us there, I think. So that I still think we'll be able to win those games. But this game, I have a feeling it's going to be a game you look back on. Maybe if we're fighting for the playoffs or seeding wise, would say, oh my God, we should have had this game. We would have been in a much better position, something like that. Obviously, every game counts. Steelers very well could be up there with us fighting for a playoff spot late in the year. That's a very realistic possibility. And obviously they'll have the tiebreaker, which hurts even more. But yeah, so let's dive straight in here. Rodgers honestly didn't even do too much in this game. The first 2 drives, the Steelers off, it looked like they were going to blow us out. We looked awful, and I'm like, what is wrong with this team? And then after that is when we outplayed them by a landslide and beat ourselves with the turnovers. Yeah, so after the first 2 drives, Rodgers did like nothing the whole game outside of that last drive. I don't even think they had like a single first down until their last drive in the second half, really. Their offense really did not do too much outside of, again, the first couple of tries. I mean, Jalen Warren is their leading receiver, their running back. He got a couple of check downs. Metcalf caught a touchdown to go up 14-0 on Carlton Davis. But honestly, their offense didn't do too much. I was very, very pleased with how our defense played. May, as I mentioned, I thought played phenomenal in this game. That pick obviously was hurtful, and then so was the fumble. He had a bunch of rushes in this game too. It's 7 for 45, so that's good. Our run game wasn't really, honestly, it wasn't. We didn't really run it that much, but it felt like we had a couple good bursts of runs in this game. Hunter Henry had a beast of a game. 2 touchdowns. It's like watching. Obviously, it's not quite the same, but it's like, it's like this team's version of Brady to Gronk, May to Henry. Stevenson, Mr. Fumbleitis, he had a 3rd and long conversion on that 96-yard drive that we ended up not scoring at the end of the first half. But he had a 3rd and long conversion there. I also got the 4th and 1. It looked like he was going to get blown up in the backfield, but he made a move to get the first down. Then outside of that, a nice even balance. No one really popped off there. Look at the team set. So this is what I'm talking about. This is what pissed me off so much. Just look at these team stats. So we nearly doubled the yardage. We were like 4 yards or 30, basically around 40-ish yards of doubling their yardage. We had over 100 more passing yards. We nearly doubled their rush yards. We had more than 1 yard per play than them. We had 9 more first downs. We were better on 3rd down. Well, actually, just kidding. It's about the same on 3rd down. 4th down, we were 4 of 5. The one we didn't get was the Pop Douglas play I mentioned. Total plays, we had over 20 more plays than the Steelers. Sacks, that was obviously an issue this game. We only had 1 punt. Penalties, you got to clean those up. Those have been an issue all year. And then we even won the time possession battle, here. And then we each threw a pick each, May and Rodgers. But basically, in the big picture view, if I'm not too concerned. It just and it's a lot easier said than done, but we just have to clean up the turnovers, and we would have easily won this game. Our defense, I'm very pleased at how our defense played in this game. I mean, they played bad the first two drives, and then after that, they played lights out besides the last drive. But, that was after we turned it over 418 times. The defense kept holding and holding and holding on, and, they only can hold on for so long. And they allowed that touchdown at the end there. Our defense played phenomenal. I thought our defense would be one of the better units. It did not look too good the first 2 weeks. So, it's good to see that it was playing better this week, and it looks like we're going to get Gonzo back, who was our best. You can honestly say he's the best player on the team overall, but I think definitely, defense. Maybe you can argue like Milton Williams, but it's regardless, it's going to be a boost getting Gonzalez back. Him and Carlton Davis should be a nasty combo. And then, against the Panthers outside of Ted McMillan, who's going to light us up if we've got Gonzo and Carlton Davis. So that could be especially beneficial for us this week, getting Gonzo back. Hopefully at least. He practiced last week, was questionable. So hopefully he plays this week. Our offense this season is actually, week one, it was great in the first half, and then second half was, kind of a mess. It was great all of last week against Miami. You look and say we only put up 14 points in this game. We should have, again, at least put up probably in the high 20s this game. At the very minimum, in the mid-20s, if you say we settled for field goals instead of touchdowns on the drives we turned it over. But probably in the mid to high 20s at least this game. Absolutely should have won this game. One of the most infuriating games I've ever watched. I was so pissed off at this game to the point that when my dad went to come to my room and talk to me about the games and fantasy and stuff, I told him, like, I am so pissed off right now. I cannot talk to anyone. I'm like, I need to just lay back and just watch the rest of the games by myself for a while because I am so fucking pissed off at this team right now and the game, how it went. But anyway, all we have to do is just clean up the turnovers. Stevenson obviously getting massively shit on by the fan base. Looks like Henderson was taking first team reps in practice this week, so maybe this is his breakout game this week against the Panthers. Even though they looked like the greatest defense in NFL history last week, I honestly think that was, I don't want to say a fluke, but I certainly don't think they'll be playing nearly as good this week. Who knows, though? Stevenson, he's just, oh, God, he just really needs, fumbling has been an issue since his rookie season. I remember the game I went to in the 22 season against Cincy on Christmas Eve. We were dead in the water, down like 22-0. Came back. We got a lucky touchdown on a batted pass on like 3rd and 29 or something like that to Jacoby Myers. And and then we forced a turnover on Chase. I think Judon he punched the ball, got it loose, got a fumble. Looked like we were going to take the lead, win the game, and Stevenson fumbled on that one. So that hurt. Damon Harris, I remember he had a fumble in the game 1 of the 21 season. We were about to take the lead against the Dolphins. Looked like we were going to win, and he fumbled. We lost the game off of it. And then, the booty catch against the Eagles. So in the 23 season, it looked like he was in bounds, and he wasn't. So we've had razor-thin plays that have absolutely killed us with fumbles and non-catches. Or in this case, a catch with Douglas that, he had it and then he went backward and lost a yard and get the conversion for us. But overall, I'm very optimistic on the team still. I don't want to say I feel better after this game than the Miami game. So obviously we won the Miami game. But I think, honestly, I think our offense played just as well as did Miami. Our defense played a lot better than it did against the Dolphins here. And you can argue that the Dolphins, even though they're a disaster this season, and it looks like they may have figured some things out against us, because even though they lost to the Bills, they actually played better than a lot of people expected, which, not to brag, but I kind of predicted in my video that they might make it a bit more, competitive than people think, just putting that out there. But, if the defense can keep playing like this, I'm very optimistic. Our offense, I think, will be able to sustain this level for most of the season. The line obviously needs to, like I've said in my videos, the line's going to be a project all season, trying to get that pulled together. But it looks good in parts and rough in some parts. Um, but I'm very optimistic, even though we lost this game. Just going to clean the turnovers up. Obviously, easier said than done. Specifically, the fumbles. Obviously, we had 3 of them, or 4 of them, rather. So that needs to get cleaned up, obviously. Um, but yeah, May is playing really good this season to me. I don't know why people are questioning. Maybe you can say after the Raiders game, I understand a bit. But the past 2 games, he's looked great to me. Then the defense, very optimistic on, played really well this game, I thought. I'm very optimistic on this season. Like I said, I laid out that stretch for us where we should be able to stockpile at least a few wins. Hopefully, especially because the back half of the year, the last couple of weeks, we get a gauntlet of a schedule that we're probably going to stockpile some losses on. So, a game like this we should have won. Obviously, would have helped us, to fight for the playoffs at the end of the year, I'm sure. But I still have a good amount of faith we'll be able to make it. Um, what else about this game? Yeah, this was just one of the most infuriating games I've seen in recent memory. Oh God, the only time I honestly think the last time I think I was mad is like to the point of after this game. Well, for the Patriots, it literally is. Well, last year I'd probably say that Colts game. I was so pissed off we lost that game. But I was thinking probably the most recent example was the Celtics when we blew games 1 and 2 to the Knicks. We blew a 20 plus point lead in both games to go down 2-0. Then obviously we ended up losing 6. And then obviously Tatum with his Achilles injury. So I was extremely pissed off after that, but I just cannot believe how many times he turned it over. I was so annoyed and just mad and aggravated, just pissed off. But overall, I'm pretty optimistic on the team moving forward, honestly. Um, See, I mean, as many turnovers as we had, and again, 4 of them being in Pittsburgh territory, 2 of them literally being in the end zone, we still had a chance to tie it at the end. It was 14-14 before the 5th and final turnover, and it looked like we were at least going to put up a field goal. So, yeah, also people saying we lost faith in Borregales, the coaching staff. I don't think that's the case. Yes, we went for it on 4th down in their territory, but it was very short yardage compared to a very long field goal. Like the 4th and 1 or 2, obviously the 4th and 1 at the end of the game, we had to go for it down 7. But we went for it on 4th and 2 on the prior offensive drive, and but it was like or it might have been 4th and 1. I think it was 4th and 1 actually. And May on a play action just kept it and ran it himself. Instead of a 57-yarder, basically, 56-yarder, whatever it would have been, I would have just gone for the 4th and 1. I think that was the right decision. I can't believe we actually went for the 4th and 1 like on our own 10. We got it, but can't believe we actually went for it. And then the 4th and 2 to open the 4th quarter. I understand why we did that. We went for it there. Trying to tie the game instead of just getting the field goal, kick the field goal, they'll be down 4. Especially if we went for it on 4th and 1 on our own 10, why not go for it on 4th and 2? Like I want to say we were around the 15, 20-yard line, something like that. Maybe at 15, somewhere around there. But yeah, very optimistic on the teams. My big takeaway is clean up the turnovers. We'll be fine. New coaching staff, new scheme, new players might take a while to fully groove in, but I saw a lot of improvement in this game. If we can just build off this game and again minimize the turnovers, I'll be very optimistic on how the rest of the season pans out. So, as infuriating as this game was, as mad as I was, and I'm sure most Patriots fans were, I'm pretty optimistic on it. Just clean up the turnovers, and we'll be absolutely fine. And honestly, if we play this way against the better teams in the league, no disrespect to the Steelers, but I think they'll be fairly mid or one of around a 10-win team, that type of team. I don't think they'll be one of the elite teams. If we can play this way against and I know they're not elite right now, but I'm sure they'll be fine. Like Baltimore, I know we don't play Detroit this season, but Detroit, Tampa, you can say. Just trying to think of elite teams he played this season. Those types of teams. The Buffalo, I obviously don't think we'll beat Buffalo both times. So I have faith we can at least split with them. If we can play the same way in this game we played against them and just minimize the turnovers, even by like not even have a turnover free game. Obviously, that would have obviously a turnover free game would help. But if we can just have a turnover or two compared to five, I think we have a decent chance at beating some of those teams. So very optimistic is my big takeaway. As pissed off as I was, big game against the Panthers, absolute must win. Yes, the Panthers obviously just beat the brakes off the Falcons, won 30-0 in a shocker, but I still don't think the Panthers are a very good team. So, yeah, I will end the video here. I'm probably gonna record my week 3 take. I can't believe it's already week. Well, it's gonna be week 4 tonight. Actually, is the Thursday game. It's already insane. Feels like the season just started yesterday. But I'll be recording my week 3 takeaways video probably right after this. Just be on the lookout for that if you're interested. But I will end this video here. Thank you guys for tuning in. Hopefully you enjoyed. If you're a Patriots fan, hopefully you come out of this with an optimistic view for the rest of the season moving forward like I am. But yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed. Thank you for tuning in and take it easy, guys.